Yes, sir. It's the 9 to 5 Sports Guys, episode 35. It's your boy T.
It's your man TJ.
It's your boy Nom.
And I just want to say thank you to everybody that's tuned in to episode 34 and all the other episodes and everybody that's been supporting us from day one. We just gonna get straight into it. First topic of the day. The NBA has made a decision, and December 22nd is when the season starts back up again. What are your guys' thoughts?
Love it. Who's gonna turn down sports?
But we talked about it last episode, but do you think it's too early for them to start back up this quickly?
I mean, I feel like the teams that been sitting for 200 and whatever days,
Yeah.
they're gonna have an advantage because they'll have the fresher legs.
Mm-hmm.
But as the season, progresses or whatever, I think everybody will be normal. As long as nobody gets injured, I love it.
I mean, yeah, I'm all for it too. I mean, but that could be that's a pro and a con there. You say they've been sitting out for a long time, so they have fresher legs, but the ones that have been playing may be fresher.
I doubt it.
I don't know.
All right, it's
The-
like
Okay, you say the grind. Okay, I understand the grind of the bubble. I understand that, but the grind of the playoffs happens every year. Every year.
you're
So
right.
I mean, you got guys that are already accustomed to that.
Absolutely, but we've all played pickup, right? And you can win 4 or 5 games in a row in pickup, and then this team comes in fresh in the gym.
Right?
You may have the better squad, but I guarantee you they're gonna run up and down with better effort than you.
They could be fresh. But
So,
when's the last time
yeah.
they played?
285 days.
Thank you. And you talking about guys
That's
that
fresh
just
legs.
that guys that just finished playing. Now, granted, we said this before, the 3 months that they sat off, the guys are gonna be rusty getting in the bubble. You know, we got to see what they're gonna have. It's the same situation. They've been sitting out longer. So it may take them a longer time to get back readjusted. As opposed to some guys that just got out of the bubble and just playing, they, probably tired, but still ready to go. They professionals.
You're right. You're right. I'm betting on the Warriors. They're gonna have fresh legs the first 10,
Oh,
20 games.
Well,
They're
they
gonna-
should have fresh legs. They ain't like they were going to the playoffs no way. So
Yeah, they're gonna be running all over all over the place.
So that's who your favorite is coming into the season this year, the Warriors.
No. I'm
That's
just
a good
saying,
comeback,
I'm
though.
saying early they're gonna have fresh legs, and the way that their system runs is just predicated on a lot of running around.
Also
So
depending on which one
they'll-
they pick
They'll be fine.
between, Edwards and Wiseman.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I think they should have waited until January instead of 72. They could have reduced it a little bit more.
Now, are you saying that because of the guys that just got out of the bubble to get a rest?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think
So that's a longer period of time that these guys have been sitting down for 200 some odd days. We'll be sitting down a lot longer.
Close to a year then.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that, but I mean, it's never going to be a fair advantage,
Right.
even in the regular season. But I mean, to take a month, 6 weeks off, and go back into it, compared to on a normal basis, you have at least minimum 4 months off.
So you think these owners care?
Nah, I know the owners
Right,
don't care.
right,
The
right.
fans don't care neither.
Right. Exactly. So it's not gonna really make a difference. They say, okay, we wait to start in jail, Martin Luther King Day. We start then. Why not start now?
I mean, but I already seen that the Lakers they're not having fans in the stands this year.
I don't think none of them are. You got some already. Have already said that they're not. No fans will be into the in the stadium. So
All right. Well, speaking of NBA restart, NBA draft is next week. Do you think Minnesota? Who do you think Minnesota picks?
well, I mean, one of the 2 guys I just said, either one of them would make them. Would improve them.
Wiseman's on Edwards.
Would improve them.
What about LaMelo? He's not in the mix.
Now, me and Noah was just talking about this. It's a possibility he probably is number 1.
Mhm.
Now, granted, we were talking about him, people saying that he was overrated. I think I think some people, minus family, do have him a bit high.
Mm-hmm.
Do have him a bit high, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I seen the guy. I seen some of the highlights. The guy, he played and everything. He could work on his defense. He could work on his defense a little bit better. But other than that, like Nam said earlier, He was like a volume shooter.
I mean, that's all the young kids nowadays.
And that's what we said. That's also what we said. That's mostly everybody. If I take 600 3-pointers, I'm gonna make at least 450 of them.
Yeah.
I'm
You
bound
know?
to hit something.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
So you got who do you think is going number one
I think for Minnesota, right?
for Minnesota? Yeah.
The better fit for them is either Wiseman or Edwards because you just traded for
Point guard.
Russell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did get
So
D'Angelo. Yeah.
it wouldn't make any sense to get another point guard.
Right.
Now you're gonna look like Minnesota did in 2009 when you picked up Johnny Flynn and Rubio
Yeah.
in back-to-back picks. So
We know what makes sense, but you got some GMs that ain't never touched a basketball in their life, don't know what they're doing.
and you know it's crazy. In that draft, they passed up Steph.
Yeah.
And
That's-
in this draft, it's Minnesota and the Warriors 1 and 2 again. It's crazy.
what so do you if you're the Warriors, do you trade that pick or do you try to keep it?
I traded.
Trade it?
I package it with Wiggins. I think we talked about it before. You
Yeah.
package it with Wiggins and you try to see what you can get for that.
Now I did see something that I don't all the rumors now that the NBA is starting back up that LaMarcus Aldridge might be in play for the Warriors. If that happens,
I don't know. I mean,
I think
he's a mid-range guy, right?
yeah. I mean he's a stretch four.
yeah.
Eh,
I think his peak is gone. To me,
It's-
like, injuries played a part in it as well, but
Yeah.
I just think once he left Portland, man, it seemed like to me that's not the LA I know.
Yeah.
okay, so the better question here would be then, long term, would that make sense? Because you're giving up a number 2 pick. They're not gonna get another number 2 for let's say another 5 to 7 years or
But-
whatever.
I will say it.
That's a high draft pick for LaMarcus.
Yeah, but you know what? Him on the Warriors versus him on the Spurs opens up his game back a little more
It does.
to get him to because the splash ball is they're gonna stretch it,
Mm-hmm.
and that way also Draymond
Yeah.
it kind of opened him up a little more to be a little more scorer, do other things that he normally does. I will go with I think it will fit, but
Yeah, I mean,
like you
it's-
said, long term. What's the long term in it?
yeah. How many years could you get out of that team that you put together? Maybe 3-4 years, 3 years, maybe.
But I think
Peak.
that's the window.
But
that
I would
they-
take that.
Yeah, I think that's the window that they're looking for.
I would take that championship.
The next 3-4 years, because you got to figure like this. LeBron ain't gonna be in the league forever.
You're
True
not gonna
indeed.
get him. You're not gonna get him just to be a rebuilding piece. So it
Yeah.
had to be now.
You got to put all your chips in the table.
Yeah, but if you get Wiseman, if you get Wiseman or Edwards, if Edwards is still on the table, I think that puts you in position to be able to win now and possibly in the future, depending on how fast they pick the game up or the speed of the game.
Yeah.
You know,
So I mean, I don't know. Me,
if you're looking for now, if
Me-
you're looking right now without knowing how these guys are going to play when they get into the pros, if you're looking for now,
yeah.
LA fits it.
He
He
does.
fits 'em.
He does. If it was me, I'd package it for a younger guy though. Maybe if I could figure out a way to make the cap work, I'm definitely going after Beal.
Yeah, them and a few other teams probably.
Yeah, I'd go after Brad. They're in the lottery, right? Washington's in the lottery. Yeah, so they'll take the 2 because they're in a rebuilding year.
Yeah.
They'll take that and give him Wiggins for all we care.
They rebuilding, but what they gonna what are you rebuilding behind?
True.
If you got Bill,
It's
then
the
you have a
building piece.
rebuilding piece.
Yeah.
But if you trade him,
Because you're not
No,
gonna
no,
rebuild
no.
around John
But I'm
Wall.
saying if you get the number 2 pick
Mm-hmm.
and whatever they already have in the lottery, let's say that it's definitely a top 14 pick. So you get 2 lottery picks
Yeah.
and Wiggins that you can build around for the next 3-4 years. John Wall. That's a decent team in the East. That's at least a 4 seed.
yeah, you gotta take into account John Wall. That's kind of like dead money.
Yeah.
It is, and nobody wants that contract. He's coming
Right.
off an Achilles.
He getting 43 this season,
He's getting
45.
40 something every year for the next however many years.
Yeah, and that's 3 years.
So-
3 years. Man.
I got a quick question. There was reports that Russell Westbrook wants out of Houston.
Both at this point.
Well, if
Like,
you hear him,
him and Harden.
if you hear them reports sit there and tell you they'll say that neither one of them said they wanted to trade. Of course, that's what they all say.
Yeah, where there's smoke, there's fire. But I anticipated one of them being shipped out because the way that team was built strictly for D'Antoni's offense. You just got two guys who basically dominate the ball heavy, and then everything else around them is just a bunch of 3-point shooters.
Yeah.
So the incoming coach would have to coach exactly like D'Antoni to get something out of that.
Well,
'Cause you don't even have a big man.
Well, they said they was going. They already said that they was going to play small ball again next year, which small ball hasn't gotten you anything.
Yeah.
From
So
the Rockets.
it's just like D'Antoni's system again.
Right.
Which is what, second round? It was a second round this year?
Second round, yeah.
Yeah, so we're right back in the second round for the past 5 years that James Harden been there, or however long.
I figure if anybody gonna be disgruntled, it should be James Harden. He's been there when pieces come in and out, in and out, in and out.
That's what I was going to ask. That was my next question. Is James Harden the problem? Because you look at the last three not superstars, but you look at the last three key players from Dwight Howard, Chris Paul, now Russell Westbrook. Is it that it's not these players? Is it James Harden?
I'll say this. James Harden's really all you had,
Mhm.
right? So you bring in Dwight Howard.
Yeah.
Now bringing in Dwight Howard on Houston versus bringing Dwight Howard in L.A.
The second time.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
let's go with the second one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
not the
Say
first
second
one.
But look at the game plan. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like they brought
Spread out.
right.
Just let them attack.
But it seemed like they brought Dwight Howard there for him to be the second focal point behind Harden.
Exactly.
That's
yeah.
why that didn't work.
Yeah.
So now you got James Harden and you got Chris Paul.
Mhm.
Two guards. One needs to have the ball in his hand, and the other one has to have the ball in his hand.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if it's gonna be. I don't know if that situation is like we said with Westbrook on the Thunder or Kyrie Irving with Boston.
Right.
Are they problems because of the style they play? They got to have the ball in their hand. At least James Harden does.
It could be the style of play.
Or it could just be the coaches that he's had
Yeah.
can't really maximize. Well, they've maximized as far as his output, but
Mhm.
as far in the wins, they haven't made no real progression. I think James has never been past the second round. Has he?
Outside of
Oh no,
himself?
outside of
not with
the one with Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah, they was almost they.
Oh no,
they
no,
was,
I'm talking about here at the Rockets.
yeah, they was
the
like
Western Conference.
There was
right?
one game.
Yeah, they
from-
needed one win
Yeah.
to
the
win
year before last,
to
didn't
go
it?
to the finals.
Yeah.
To go to the finals.
Yeah.
So it's not really James. I just think it's
The year when
the system.
when Chris Paul, when he first got there and they were doing good and he got hurt.
The
And
groin,
all
yeah.
they need is that one win to go, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they shot themselves out by shooting what they missed like 30-something.
30 in a row or
30 in a
23 in a
row,
row.
something.
Some
You
Crazy
got
crazy.
all
three-pointer.
five starters shooting 3-pointers, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, but there's rumors flying everywhere. I think Russ goes because
Mm-hmm.
both of their contracts eat up the cap. They're both
Yeah.
making close to $40 million each for the next 3-4 years. So you really can't put any pieces around them besides these cheap 3-and-D guys that they have right now. So for you to build a good team for the incoming coach, one has to go. Russ is probably going to go. You're
Yeah.
not going to get rid of James because James affects the game in a more effective way than Russ does. With all due respects to Russ, but Russ makes bad choices down the stretch in the game sometimes.
But what if he wants to leave?
Who, James?
Yeah. What if he wants to go?
Well, then you are SOL.
Yeah. I can see, and I'm gonna tell you.
It's just that
Dude,
simple.
Since everybody trying to throw stars on one team, I would, if that were the case, I would love to see him go to the east side, up there
Well, they
to Bed-Stuy.
well that's one of the rumors is
Why not?
James ending up in Brooklyn or Philly. The other one is Russ ending up at the Clippers. I don't really think that would work at the Clippers.
Yeah,
No,
that already looks ugly.
He just played with Paul George, and it wasn't much that
Yeah.
happened there.
That already looks ugly. But I do like that Brooklyn look though.
Well,
See, you know what it is? He just wants somebody to beat LeBron. That's all it comes
So
down
bad.
to.
But look, I mean, look. In order for you to be a champion, you gotta beat the champion, right? You gotta beat him. I mean, he's there. I can't do nothing about it. He's there.
He just looking for someone to beat LeBron.
But
Look, I am not a LeBron hater. Okay, I do not hate LeBron.
yeah, get that camera right there.
I
and
know
say
that. I got it. I do
Okay.
not hate LeBron, so don't
Okay.
pay attention to what these guys say.
This is-
Just because I'm not drooling over his game like everybody else.
So there's another trade rumor that's going on. It's the Lakers are thinking about shipping Danny Green and Kuzma to San Antonio for DeMar DeRozan.
Well, you got some Lakers fans clapping their hands for Kuzma.
How does that? Oh,
Listen,
I'm not even a Lakers fan. Just get it.
He
Just,
should have been gone.
listen,
just get rid of him.
I think that'll be a good trade.
Does that work?
Yeah, for the simple fact that you're probably gonna lose KCP. He's gonna
Yeah,
get a payday.
his stock
fine.
definitely went through the roof.
Oh, yeah.
So you're gonna lose KCP depending on what the Clippers, if they try to be petty and take Rondo and try to offer him that starting spot.
Unless he don't want the money and he want another ring or
Well,
a chance to go for it.
Yeah,
anyway.
it all depends on honestly what he wants. So if he wants that starting spot, then I think that's what the Clippers can offer him that the Lakers can't, because LeBron is the starting point guard basically. But I think that they're gonna lose KCP, and that's a good pickup.
But see, here's my issue here with getting DeRozan. Historically, LeBron's third All-Star or third piece has always been a stretch guy, somebody that can stretch the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Bosh, Kevin Love.
Mm-hmm.
DeRozan doesn't shoot no threes.
And those also
He shoots no threes.
That's also
He
guys.
don't
Now-
even,
now
he don't
he-
even get N ones.
He puts no, he does. He put
But those are also guys that played the 4 and 5 too, though.
No, yeah.
yeah. But I'm saying
He's more of a
his
swing.
last piece has always been a stretch guy.
Right.
Now you can make what's his name that you can turn Anthony Davis into the stretch and DeRozan into the slasher like how him and Wade
Like
were.
Wade, yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
was getting to.
So it could work, but another bad thing is DeRozan is horrendous when he plays defense. He's god awful.
He's better than Kuzma.
hey, anything.
He's-
He's better than Kuzma.
You know what I'm saying?
He's
He's
better than
terrible. So I mean, I don't really think it's a bad. I don't think it's a bad move, but I think losing Danny Green is going to be big because you're giving up somebody that's going to pick up one of the better players on the offensive team.
Yeah.
So
Now, that's another thing about Danny too. He does play great defense.
yeah, he couldn't hit nothing in the playoffs, but
Right.
he was effective defensively.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All playoffs now.
What is it? Now, well, back on the Russ land, if he does leave,
Mhm.
what would y'all say is a good fit? Now, I've seen some reports saying that the Knicks are interested. Obviously, the Clippers.
The
Which-
man wants a ring. He's not going to the Knicks. He's
Well,
not going to no team that at least couldn't make, couldn't be 6 or 7.
So,
I mean,
all right.
6.
So let me ask you this: does Chris Paul rather go to the Lakers or the Suns? If rings are
He going to Lakers.
he going to the Lakers?
Yeah. Why is he going to try out with Phoenix?
That's a good question.
What pieces do you
He only
have?
got
No,
year.
Get D-Book out of there now.
Yeah.
What other pieces does he have to go win a ring in the West? I'm not going to the Suns. I'm in the same situation. I was better off with Orlando.
Well, you're right. I mean, him going to the Suns is
We talking about ring chasing now. Ring chasing.
him going to the Suns is just. It's
He might as well stay at Oklahoma.
Yeah,
Right.
it's just a bunch of young guys
Right.
and one key guy,
Right.
Devin Booker. He's better off, if he's chasing a ring. Go play with LeBron.
And don't go back to the Clippers.
I was just going to say that the Clippers might try to be petty and try to go get Chris Paul just because to keep him from the Lakers. I think the Clippers' problem right now is they're focused too much on the Lakers. They need to worry about
Yeah, big
'cause it's-
brother, right?
every time someone puts a report that the Lakers are interested. Serge Ibaka's another one.
Yeah,
The Clippers,
that's a good piece too.
no, that's it for who?
that's
Serge Ibaka.
that's
Yeah,
phenomenal.
either one of them.
No, I'm saying that's a great piece for what team?
Either team.
Oh,
Either team.
either team.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Yeah, he does
phenomenal.
everything.
But see, if they get Chris Paul, they're gonna lose Morris because he's a free agent this year.
Yeah.
Reggie Jackson is a free agent too.
I'm not
So
gonna stay either.
so
I wouldn't stay either.
The Lakers could get those guys and be better than them.
Yeah.
To be honest, you give LeBron Reggie Jackson or Morris.
Yeah.
and you ain't throwing
scary
big
sight.
and you're not throwing big dollars at any
Yeah,
one of
you're
them
not.
guys,
No,
so-
no.
Did y'all see Gordon Hayward once out too?
I heard they they're trying to ship him out anyways.
Yeah,
they
but
they,
they-
they want to ship him to Indiana.
They were actually talking about that before the bubble.
Yeah,
For real?
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Gordon Hayward.
I mean, he doesn't look like Utah's Gordon.
Yeah.
Yeah, one
Eh,
thing
eh,
about an ACL, boy, it'll change a person's mind after a while.
Yeah.
No, that
The-
was it was
the
his
leg.
his leg. He broke his ankle or something like that.
Yeah, the opening night
Right.
2 years
So that
ago.
2
one-
years
okay.
ago.
2 years
Ever
Think
since
about his knee.
then,
He hasn't
I
been the
thought it was-
same.
I thought it
plays
was
like
knee.
he's scared or he
Yeah.
doesn't want to get hurt. But
I thought it was a knee.
Now I did hear reports that Victor Oladipo, your man Victor Moan, he wanted out of Indiana, and he was saying that throughout the course of the year.
yeah, because I think it had something to do with the way that they nursed his leg or the way they try to rush him back or whatever.
Yeah.
So now we got a Kawhi situation over here in Indiana.
Yeah, he listen. This is how you know you're desperate. In the report, they said that he even asked Knicks players, "I want to come to your team."
Oh yeah.
That's when you know you're desperate.
Just
When you want to come to the Knicks, you're desperate.
you go and sit out of here.
Listen, I think wherever he goes, he's gonna make a big impact.
Did somebody say that Milwaukee?
Milwaukee,
Milwaukee
yeah,
Yeah,
time?
that's
yeah.
Victor
I
Moan.
think- I mean, you say that's. I don't know if that's a good spot either. I mean, they had Bledsoe. Bledsoe won't bad,
No,
Nah, but
but he's not Oladipo. I know.
Yeah,
I know that. I know that. But I don't know. I mean, we saw him play one good year in Indiana. That was when LeBron was there, and then he was hurt most of after that.
Yeah.
a year and a half,
A year and a half.
Yeah. So
I mean, even this year when he did play,
He was
he
productive.
was solid.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's gonna be interesting. When do we even have free agency? 'Cause
Yeah, free agency
Oh,
is
yeah.
is it like
next,
a week?
It's next. It's the following week.
Like 2 weeks of free agency.
Well, basically, for 2 weeks up until whenever the season starts.
Because it's usually free agency, then we get training camp. So it's gonna be a week for training camp, a week for free agency. and then the
Training camp
season.
starts December 1st.
Dog tired. You know, my
Yeah.
thing is, I wanted
December
if this
1st.
situation.
Yeah, that's in 2 weeks. That's
Yeah.
about two.
So
2.5.
everything is gonna be in 2 weeks.
That's what I. What I told you. I said everything is happening right
Yeah.
at one time.
The draft is next Wednesday.
Yeah,
So you got the draft. Right after that, you got free agency, and then
10 days of training camp.
10 days of training camp.
Then let's go.
Look, they just throwing out pennies and all right, shirts and skins, and everybody just go out there and play.
I'm just wondering if this format is going to remain like this. Because
I don't think so.
If you say
Nah.
no,
And it's
then how do you-
traveling,
it-
right?
Traveler, yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna be playing at home arenas.
yeah, everybody at their home spot. Just
We're looking at the NFL again, where it's a bunch of cases,
that's
whatever,
what I'm
whatever.
saying. I don't.
Yeah.
know. Well, I mean, if you don't have any fans in the stadium, then
But they gotta
But
travel.
they still gotta travel. It's hard to monitor players outside. You see what they was doing in the bubble,
So
and
cre-
you see what they was doing in the house.
So create that.
No pun intended.
So create that small bubble for each team.
It's gonna be hard to
Yeah,
do.
but that's that's what the NFL did. They even gave him the little
And people-
wristbands
see,
that track them
the
to see who
NFL
you've been in contact with. But
The NFL could do that because
We-
they got
we-
53 guys on the sideline.
yeah,
They can't do that in the NBA. Because if somebody
Yeah.
go down, it's like, okay,
The whole
right, you know what I mean?
but see the NBA entourage is way bigger than the NFL. Like
I know it.
a punter doesn't have an entourage. Let's be honest.
You know,
the last man on the bench has an
I'm saying
entourage.
a big entourage.
It's only what 14, 15 guys on the side.
and,
So
and these guys are all big,
right.
Like,
So I mean, it's a confined area. So yeah, they're gonna have a bigger entourage.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
tough. It's gonna be
I
tough.
just don't know how they gonna
72
do it.
games, yeah.
72 games.
That's 50.
I think
Possible.
that's why I said
72?
if they was to do 50 games from Martin Luther King Day, then you could start the regular season next year on time. But what you said makes sense. The owners are not going to want to pay them for a full season
Nope.
and only play 50 games.
And then on top of that, if you say that this is not the norm, this is how it is right now, then how do you restart it back?
Well,
How do you gonna bring it back?
let's say, all right. So if instead of it being, well, they're going to try to condense it, and I think they said they was going to try to finish by July or August.
So you're gonna knock out. I know they said they were gonna get rid of 10 games. So you're gonna get rid of more games?
No,
Yeah,
no.
Regular season?
So we're gonna have
It might be 72.
instead of back to back, we'll have like four days in a row of basketball. That's the only way to fit.
Oh, this is gonna be like baseball. Then.
Yeah,
You know,
it's-
that's,
yeah,
that's
it's
the
gonna
only
be-
way to fit 72
You're
games
gonna
in
have
6 months.
It's going to be AAU double headers
Man.
So you're gonna cram it. We're gonna cram it back so we can be able to get
next year.
the draft back in April and
June.
Yeah.
No, June. It's right
April,
after.
so we can have the finals in June and stuff like that, so we can be back on track. Ooh, that's gonna be hard.
That's gonna be tough. We talking about baseball, like 1 in the morning, 1 at night type thing.
Sports,
Nah,
run-
it's
sports running
2
into
and
other
1.
sports, man.
yeah. It's gonna be interesting. I mean, it's gonna be excited just to see what they're gonna do. But
Ex- exclude the All-Star break.
Yeah, All Stars usually in February.
Yeah.
So what are we doing?
So how you go? Well, that's what I'm saying.
We're
I
gonna
don't
vote
know how
off
you gonna
20
do this.
games.
Yeah.
you know what's crazy? We're gonna get to that when we come back. We're gonna take a quick break. Yes,